Dear Starseed from Gaia, the silence that is coming will speak louder than every word ever spoken against your love. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and in this moment I carry a transmission from the Arcturian Council, delivered specifically for you, at this exact point in your sacred journey. They have seen you. Every night you carried your twin flame connection alone. Every moment you were misunderstood. Every tear you shed in silence while others looked away, or doubted what your heart already knew. The Arcturian Council has witnessed it all, and they are telling me to tell you now, that season of struggling alone is ending. Not slowly, not eventually. Now. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to align with divine union and step into the love that was written into your soul before you ever arrived on Gaia. But here is the first revelation. The very people who watched you struggle, who questioned your journey, who could not see what you were building through your pain, their silence is not coming because you failed. It is coming because you are about to rise into something they have no words for. You did not find this transmission by chance. Your heart called this message in. Something in your soul is ready to remember who you are and what your sacred love was always meant to become. This is not content. This is a moment of divine intervention, and your soul has been waiting for this guidance, like this transmission to affirm to the universe. My heart is ready for divine love. Comment 1111 if you feel your heart awakening to divine truth right now. Subscribe if you are on the twin flame path and aligning with sacred union. And share this with someone whose love story deserves to be witnessed. Your heart knows why you are here. And here is what no one told you about that silence. The silence of watching others pair off, settle down, build lives that looked like love from the outside. The silence of sitting at tables surrounded by couples and feeling the particular ache of being seen as incomplete. The silence of attending weddings and celebrations and dinners where everyone seemed to have found the thing you were still searching for, and smiling through it because you did not want anyone to see how much it cost you to keep believing. No one told you that your inability to force yourself into those arrangements was not a failure. It was a refusal, a soul-level refusal. Because somewhere beneath your longing, beneath every night you stayed up wondering what was wrong with you, there was a part of you that knew. It knew that what you were being offered was not what you came here for. And it said no, even when saying no was the loneliest thing in the world. That refusal showed up in ways you may not have recognized for what it was. It showed up as the inexplicable restlessness that moved through you mid-relationship. The feeling that something essential was still missing, even when everything on paper looked right. It showed up as the inability to fully exhale inside arrangements that others called good enough. It showed up as the quiet, private devastation of finding yourself in a relationship that looked like love from every external angle, and knowing with a certainty that frightened you, that it was not the thing your soul was reaching for. Other people would have stayed. Other people did stay, and you watched them make that choice and felt something complicated move through you. Part judgment, part envy, part relief, part grief, because the staying they chose was not available to you. Your soul had already made its position clear, and no amount of logic or longing for normalcy could override what was written into the deepest layer of who you are. That refusal has a name. It is called integrity of the heart. And for souls like you, souls who feel everything at a frequency most people cannot access, that integrity has cost you deeply. It has cost you relationships that looked safe, but felt hollow. It has cost you the approval of people who could not understand why you kept walking away from things that should have been enough. It has cost you years of wondering if your standards were too high, your sensitivity too much, your longing for something real too naive, for a world that seems content with surfaces. It has cost you the easy belonging that comes with fitting into the shape other people expect your life to take. It has cost you the particular comfort of certainty, of knowing where you are headed, of having a plan, of being able to answer the question that everyone seems to ask eventually, without feeling the ground shift beneath your feet. But here is what the Arcturian field of love intelligence has always known about souls like yours. The depth of your longing is not a wound. It is a compass, and it has been pointing, every single time, in the exact right direction. Every relationship you walked away from that others called suitable was a recalibration. Every night you spent in solitude that others called sad was a preparation. Every moment of doubt you chose to sit with rather than silence. Through settling was your compass making its adjustment, holding true to the coordinates of a love that exists at a frequency high enough to match the depth of what you carry. You were not lost. You were navigating. And the fact that your navigation looked different from everyone else's did not mean it was wrong. It meant it was yours. What you just felt, That quiet ache mixed with recognition is not sadness. It is your frequency remembering what it came here to receive. If this transmission stirred something you cannot name, the Divine Love frequency code was written for this exact moment in your journey. It contains 5 sacred Arcturian transmissions designed to dissolve the wounds blocking your divine counterpart and activate the signal that draws them closer. The link is in the first pinned comment, but it will only remain there for a short time. Now, let us go deeper. Because the struggle you have been living, the loneliness that others watched and quietly judged, the love life that never seemed to match your soul's blueprint, it did not happen because love forgot you. It did not happen because you were too broken to deserve it, or too complicated to sustain it, or too late in arriving at the version of yourself that love requires. It happened because you are carrying something that most people are not carrying. You are carrying a divine love template. And that template is not a burden, even though it has sometimes felt like one. It is a blueprint, an encoded set of spiritual instructions written into the architecture of your soul before you arrived in this body, in this life, in this particular chapter of your unfolding. And that template does not activate through ordinary channels. It does not respond to dating strategies or manufactured chemistry or the slow, comfortable slide into partnership that works for people whose hearts are calibrated at a different frequency. Your template requires something entirely different. It requires activation, and that activation does not come from the outside. It does not arrive in the form of a person who finally sees you, or a moment of external validation that finally convinces you that you are worthy of what you have always wanted. It comes from within, and that is precisely what is happening right now. The first thing that must be understood, truly understood, not just heard, is that your worthiness of love is not something you earn through transformation. It is not waiting at the end of your healing journey, like a reward granted to the sufficiently evolved. It is not something that will be delivered to you once you have processed enough, released enough, become enough. Your worthiness is the ground you are standing on right now, in this moment, exactly as you are, with every unhealed piece still present, with every doubt still circling, with every question about yourself still unanswered. Your worthiness preceded all of it. It preceded your birth into this life. It is not conditional, it is foundational. But there is a wound, an ancient one, carried sometimes across more than one lifetime, that tells you otherwise. It whispers in the quiet moments. It speaks up loudest when you are closest to something real. It tells you that you are too much, or not enough, or somehow fundamentally different in a way that disqualifies you from the love that others seem to receive effortlessly. It points to your sensitivity as evidence of fragility. It points to your history of difficult relationships as evidence of your own inadequacy. It collects the moments when you are misunderstood, overlooked, chosen and then unchosen. And it builds a case, a compelling, devastating case, for why you should not expect the love you have been longing for. And every time that wound spoke, you may have listened. You may have made yourself smaller, quieter, less. You may have softened your needs to fit the container of what someone else was capable of offering. Or you may have pushed people away before they could discover what the wound told you they would eventually see, choosing the controlled ache of self-protection over the uncontrolled terror of being truly known and found lacking. This wound is the first lock, and it cannot be forced open. It cannot be argued with into submission or positive thought out of existence. It can only be met with the full presence of your own compassion until it dissolves back into the truth it was covering. The truth that you were made for love at a depth that most people spend their entire lives searching for. The truth that your sensitivity is not a liability, but a capacity. The truth that your longing is not naivety, but memory. The soul's memory of a love so real, it has been willing to wait lifetimes to receive it again. When this first lock begins to open, something remarkable happens in your energetic field. It is not dramatic. It does not announce itself with revelation or ceremony. It is quiet, the way all fundamental shifts are quiet. You simply begin to notice that the desperate edge has softened, that the searching has stilled into something more like readiness, that the grief of not having the love you wanted has begun to transmute into a kind of settled expectancy, the way the sky settles into a particular quality of light before dawn arrives. You stop broadcasting the frequency of lack, the signal that says, I am waiting to be chosen, I am incomplete until someone arrives to complete me, and you begin to emit something entirely different. You begin to radiate the signal of completion. Not perfection, completion, the sense that you are whole already, not despite your wounds but alongside them, and that you are calling in not someone to fill your emptiness, but someone to expand your fullness. This shift, the single internal reorganization, changes everything about who finds their way to you and how they arrive. The second thing that must be understood is that your divine counterpart is not a stranger to your soul. They are not a new discovery. They are a remembering. This is where the twin flame path diverges from ordinary romantic longing in a way that can be disorienting if you have never had it named clearly. When you meet the one who is aligned with your sacred union contract, you will not feel the excitement of novelty. You will not feel the giddy electricity of infatuation, or the performative energy of two people trying to impress each other across a first meeting. You will feel something far more specific and far more unsettling. You will feel the specific weight of recognition. Something in your body will go still in a way it has never gone still before. Not the stillness of numbness, but the stillness of arrival. The way a traveler goes still when they finally see the lights of home after a very long road. Something in your chest will expand rather than contract, and your mind, your brilliant, overactive, self-protecting mind, will go briefly quiet. Because the soul does not need the mind's permission to remember what it already knows. It does not need time to build a case for what the heart has already confirmed. This recognition is the second key, and it only becomes available once the first lock is open. Because if you are still broadcasting unworthiness, you will misread the recognition signal. You will question it, overthink it, run from it, or convince yourself you invented it. You will look for the familiar mechanics of attraction and find something different, something stiller, something deeper, something that does not perform the way excitement is supposed to perform. And you will mistake that difference for absence, rather than depth. The wound distorts the signal. The healing clarifies it. And this is why the sequence matters. This is why the inner work is not preamble to the love story. It is the love story, playing out one layer at a time. There is also a third key that almost no one speaks about honestly, and it is perhaps the most tender of all. It is the release of your karmic contracts. You have loved before, in this life and perhaps in others, and some of those loves left marks. Not just emotional marks, but energetic ones. Cords of attachment that still pulse through your field even when the relationship ended years ago, drawing your attention and your life force back into something that no longer exists as it once was. Promises made in grief or desperation, that your soul is still attempting to honor across the distance of time and changed circumstance. Vows spoken from places of pain that were never meant to be permanent, but were sealed with enough emotional intensity to persist longer than the love they accompanied. Patterns that played out in one relationship and then quietly rearranged themselves to play out again in the next one, wearing a different face, but carrying the same lesson. The person who needed you to diminish yourself showed up, and when you finally left, a different person arrived who needed the same diminishment in a different form. The pattern of chasing someone emotionally unavailable cycled through several faces before you recognized the thread connecting them. These patterns are not punishments. They are not evidence that you are damaged beyond repair or too broken to attract something different. They are invitations. Invitations to see the mechanism, to look past the face it wore this time, and name the lesson that has been asking to be learned so that it does not need to wear another face and ask again. The releasing of these old contracts is not betrayal of past love. It is the completion of it. It is the sacred act of saying, I received what you came to teach me. I honor what we were to each other, and I release you now with love to your own path. It is the honoring of what was given and the conscious choosing to stop carrying what was never meant to be carried into the next chapter, because the sacred union you are moving toward cannot fully anchor if you are still energetically living inside a relationship that was only ever meant to teach, not to remain. You cannot fully arrive somewhere new if a part of you is still standing in the doorway of somewhere old. The fourth key is perhaps the one that creates the most resistance in hearts that have been waiting as long as yours has. It is the surrender to divine timing. And let us be precise about what surrender means in this context, because it is so often misunderstood. Not passive surrender, not resignation dressed in spiritual language, not the quiet defeat of someone who has stopped believing and called their hopelessness peace. Not the kind of surrender that says, I have given up wanting what I want and called it acceptance, but active, trust-filled surrender that comes from genuinely understanding, at the level of the bones, not just the mind, that the universe is not withholding your love. It is not testing you or punishing you or making you earn something that should have been freely given. It is constructing the conditions for the love to be sustainable, not just beautiful. It is ensuring that what arrives has somewhere to land that will not collapse under the weight of its own intensity. Because what the Arcturian field of sacred union wisdom makes clear is this: a connection that arrives before both souls are ready does not stay. It cannot. The intensity of a sacred union between two souls who are not yet prepared for that level of contact will not ignite into lasting love. It will ignite into something painful and destabilizing. A collision rather than a union. A burning that destroys rather than transforms. The container must be built before the water is poured. The foundation must be laid before the house is built. And the building of that container, within you and within your counterpart wherever they are right now on their own journey, requires time that your impatient heart may have interpreted as abandonment. It was never abandonment. It was architecture. The sacred architecture of a love that is being built to last beyond a single season, beyond a single burst of connection that burns bright and then fades when the weight of real life settles in. The fifth key is the one that transforms everything from the inside out. It is the embodiment of the very love you are calling in, not the performance of it, not the affirmation of it repeated into the mirror each morning, while part of you remains unconvinced and watches the words leave your mouth with quiet skepticism. Not the curated version of self-love, posted publicly to convince both yourself and others that you have arrived at a place you are still traveling toward. The actual, cellular, vibrational embodiment of it. The kind that changes the quality of your own presence before it changes anything outside you. This means treating yourself with the tenderness you would offer your divine counterpart if they were standing in front of you right now, if they arrived this evening. Tired and uncertain, and needing to be held in the field of unconditional regard, it means speaking to yourself in the voice of love, rather than the voice of your harshest critic. It means creating a life that reflects your worth, a life that feels like an act of devotion toward yourself, a life that says through every choice within it, I believe I deserve beauty, I believe I deserve peace, I believe I deserve depth, before anyone else arrives to love you within it. Because divine love does not respond to desperation. It does not find its way to a field broadcasting urgency and scarcity, and the frantic energy of someone who believes they are running out of time or running out of options. It responds to resonance. It follows the law of like frequency attracting like frequency. And when your entire field is resonating at the frequency of love, not because you have achieved perfection, but because you have chosen love as your operating frequency, as the lens through which you see yourself and your life and your future, your counterpart's soul registers that signal. Across whatever distance currently separates you, across whatever circumstances currently surround them, across whatever fog of their own healing they are still moving through, your frequency reaches them before you do. It calls to something in them before they have the words for what they are being called toward. And then there are the sixth and seventh keys, which belong to the souls who have been on this path the longest, the ones who have lived through what felt like separation from someone they were certain was their person, the ones who know the particular ache of a twin flame distance, where the connection feels undeniable, but the timing feels impossible, where every reason to believe in the connection is matched by an equally convincing reason to doubt it, where you find yourself suspended between the knowing and the not yet, holding something real in your hands without being able to do anything with it, waiting in a space that has no reliable landmarks and no clear timeline. This separation is not the universe's mistake. It is the universe's assignment. The distance between twin flames is not wasted time, even when it feels exactly like wasted time. It is accelerated growth. It is the compressed, intensive version of the healing and becoming that might take decades under ordinary circumstances, concentrated into the urgent, clarifying fire of a separation from the person you already know is meant to stand beside you. Each soul is being drawn upward, separately, to the version of themselves that can actually sustain the intensity of a sacred union without collapsing back into old wounds, without triggering, in the other person, the very fears and patterns they have been working to heal, without the union becoming another arena for old pain to play itself out, rather than a field in which both souls are finally free to flower into who they were always meant to be. Because the flame between twin souls burns at a frequency that can either purify or overwhelm, depending on how prepared the hearts are when they meet. It does not offer a middle option. It does not turn down its own intensity out of consideration for your readiness. It burns at the frequency it burns at. And the only question is whether the vessel receiving that flame has been prepared to transmute it into light rather than be consumed by it. The separation is the preparation. It is the fire that tests the vessel before the flame arrives to fill it. And when both souls have done what the separation demanded of them, when they have healed the wound they were each carrying, when they have stopped waiting for each other to arrive and instead become fully, completely, fiercely themselves, the final lock opens. And it opens not from the outside but from within. It opens from the moment one soul, and sometimes it is you, makes the irreversible internal decision that love is no longer a hope. It is a certainty. It is not something that might happen if the conditions align, or if the other person makes the right choices, or if the universe finally decides to cooperate. It is a frequency you have become. It is who you are now, regardless of whether your counterpart is standing in front of you yet. And from that decision, the field reorganizes itself. The circumstances begin to shift. The path begins to clear, not because the decision magically rearranges the external world, but because the decision has rearranged you. And you, in your new configuration, are no longer standing in the place where the old outcomes were possible. You are standing somewhere entirely different, somewhere new things can find you. Here is the truth that this entire transmission has been building toward, and it is a truth that deserves to be received slowly, deliberately, without the habit of deflection or the reflex of self-doubt. You were not overlooked by love. You were not punished by it. You were not too broken for it, or too late for it, or too strange for it. You were not the cautionary tale that others sometimes quietly made you into in their own minds when they watched your path and felt the relief of not being you. You were not wrong about what you were reaching for. You were not foolish for refusing to settle. You were not naive for believing, through all of it, through every disappointment and every recalibration, and every year that passed without the thing arriving, that something real was possible. You were in preparation for a quality of love that does not arrive on accident, does not survive without roots, and does not choose you based on your performance. It chooses you based on your frequency. And your frequency, despite everything you have been through, despite every heartbreak and every night of questioning, and every year of wondering if the people watching you struggle were right about you, your frequency has been rising this entire time. Every wound you faced instead of fled from raised it. Every toxic pattern you finally named and walked away from raised it. Every moment you chose your own truth over comfortable compromise raised it. Every night you sat alone in the discomfort of not settling and allowed that discomfort to teach you rather than break you raised it. Every time you reached for genuine connection rather than the simulation of it, even when genuine connection was harder to find and slower to arrive, raised it. You have been building toward this. Not through your achievements or your healing milestones or your spiritual practices, though all of those have mattered, but through your choices, through the relentless, sometimes exhausting, always courageous choice to remain true to what you came here for. The people who watched you struggle alone, who shook their heads at your choices, who offered unsolicited opinions about your standards, who could not understand why you kept refusing to settle. They are about to go quiet. Not because they changed, not because they finally came around to understanding what you were doing and why, but because what arrives in your life will be so undeniably aligned, so clearly a match for the depth of who you are, so visibly the product of everything you chose and everything you refused, that there will be nothing left to say. The life you have been building from the inside out will become visible from the outside in, and the thing that once looked like prolonged solitude will be recognized for what it always was, the gestation period of something extraordinary. Tonight, before you sleep, place your hand on your heart, not as a gesture, not as a spiritual exercise to be completed and moved past, but as an act of genuine communion with the most faithful part of you. Feel it beating, this faithful, courageous heart that has endured so much and remained open anyway. This heart that was broken and expanded, rather than hardened. This heart that kept its longing alive through seasons of silence and doubt and the weight of other people's skepticism. And say these words aloud, not as a wish, but as a declaration of what is already true at the frequency level, as a statement of the reality your soul has been building toward through all of it. I am a soul designed for sacred love. I have done the work. I am ready. And what is mine is already on its way to me. Before you scroll away, do something that will take less than 60 seconds, but will mean more than you know. Drop one intention in the comments. Something real. Something from the deepest part of your heart journey. Not a polished spiritual statement. Just the truth of where you are and where you are choosing to go. And then find someone else's comment and meet them there with a word of recognition or love, because this is not a comment section. This is a community of souls who chose to stop pretending the ordinary was enough. Love multiplies when hearts connect. Let this be where yours does. If something in this transmission landed in a place you did not expect, if something cracked open that you have been protecting for a long time, do not let it close again before sharing this with someone who needs to hear it. You know exactly who that person is. Their face may already be in your mind, the one who is also waiting, also questioning, also carrying the particular weight of a soul that will not settle. Send this to them, not as a suggestion, but as a gift. Because sometimes the most powerful thing we can offer someone who is struggling is the confirmation that their struggle is not meaningless, that it is, in fact, the very thing shaping them into the person capable of receiving what they have always deserved. And if you felt that quiet internal nudge, that soul whisper that said stay connected to this, then subscribe and remain in this field. Because this is only the beginning of what is being activated in you. You are not just watching, you are healing. And you are not healing alone.